na yebu hon konta kire baabi akwakoduro ya na wa amanyosemu no ye friend Midday budget review ode ekokoto dwa na ebra wokọ ka budget ni mu ensem ewie ye no na nkomo ahodo edidi akire nkomo ahodo edidi akire na nkomo ye edidi akire ni bimu na epieye e woni kasa mu se na no MPP penso no amde bibi ba ye otu din gold for oil no a na ye se ye de gold ko adwaman so kwakwaje oil benti ye ntam sika puduo nsesa sika no e wo sika nkra tamu mfe nko gold mfe nko oil adwadie wase na ye kenken kwa na enye bibie di mu enye bata saa se ye de we kwa akosesan we sede abanda da no ana sa gold for oil hihye Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia edi animu eka de kire omanfo nti saa nsem ne firi na ekro ye montomu na nya no kore na dada krasem
I'm not aware.
saa nsem ne firi na ekro ye montomu na nya no kore na dada krasem
I'm not aware. There was no direct back work properly. Largely paying the suppliers of those crude oil and petroleum product cash.
Still?
Yes, that was what they were doing. They never paid them with gold. Never. I'm speaking to you as the Minister for Finance.
They had a whole policy running on gold for
But
oil.
I'm telling you, there was nothing gold.
Ye oil sem ehone nyina ye bone boa na yakase energy sector. Ka MPP ho. MPP campaign team no.
Body aja. Friday abentin ye hwe ni mu naija weekend ya yitwe on kaka.
Erade mo ayesa. Enra budget na echi na Dr. Keslato Forsen say. Na no de MPP aban Dr. Bawumia ehuridi kan hye ho mon gold for oil gold for oil na ye kenken kwa. Ojele say
Pacho emze mi kujupukuno and tempi no ya na mu introduce me executive director for Institute for Energy Policies and Research. Emze ye mu bino ye wo kwa ya tia ye didi energy mu komo. Na ya na nyoma bi wo ha eba ye di ni di akire na ya di atwetwe ni ahwenka ta ni ahwedi ewu. Emre bia ye tise NDC aban ba ye ni tise omsi Bank of Ghana for say omaboka 1.8 billion Ghana cedis will go for oil. Sorry, it was about, I think, almost 2 point something over 2 billion Ghana cedis will go for oil. Yeah, then a Bank of Ghana to me over 2 billion cedis will go for oil. Emeja, Nanado Adaluma, you'll be a friend of RTI, Right Information Act, in Tiaja, and Sasha Kratasi, Institute for Energy Policy Research. Even Sasha Kratasi, a Tro Bank of Ghana. 7th of July, and a Bank of Ghana, and Mammy Moye. Now, in your bar, Mr. My young church assembly, now you are. I will say, Honorable Finance Minister, no, the part was a small client, we're trying to touch the Ghana for no Ghana for a joy and fighter. Because Ghana, a cra and near to Munisi, a mamma, your sem, a man of Creno, a Bank of Ghana for letter on Trobremi on the 7th of July. This is what Bank of Ghana said. And so, and say, a tree program here, but Mama Mekwaya maintain for Fokaka. Bank of Ghana can say, and correct, say, at the end of 2024, no, na Omo Aboka 2.1 billion Ghana cedis. So 2.1 billion Ghana cedis, no, 0.3 billion no, was for 2023, and 1.82 billion was for 2024. And of course, Poka said, Ye Busani said, you said not gold for oil, no, you will go down more top a free local market, no, na afi modi akọ ano amanoni e de akọ trading omo modi petroleum products in the bano na modi gold no ayeden ama wo mo enti ehemfa na boye losses no e ka na baye ehemfa na baye se mo ko to gold no dwa so e na ka baye ana se mo ko to petroleum products no e na ka baye si awo nya obu se bia say na Bank of Ghana for kan almost say at the close of the financial year 2024 a cumulative loss of 2.14 billion was incurred on the G4O program. 0.3 billion, and put them at next one, the loss on gold transactions amounted to 1.8 billion, which were mainly due to exchange rate differential. The exchange rate used in the local gold market for the gold purchases and the bank's internal rate. The next line, loss on petroleum trading amounted to 0.34 billion, which were mainly due to large stockpiles prior to sharp deadlines in world market. Bank of Ghana for it. Now, yet the cities nima womo, na omuko jaso ekoto gold na. Omuto gold no jaso local market yem krase na omuto gold no omo hono. Na rate na nkofo na PMMC ne nkofo na omuto gold no Tonwama Bank of Ghana no rate no mu use no any bank no internal rate no na a buy which was almost 2.1 billion no it move 1.8 from gold buying gold. The Honorable Minister Uncle to forcing say o say na at say voice na o boy no say can go to be anka na Bank of Ghana etia cash. Then a Bank of Ghana for committee loss of 1.8 billion Ghana cedis if Bank of Ghana was not buying any gold for the petroleum products. There and then a Bank of Ghana for so much gold for oil. But there were two programs going on at Bank of Ghana. One, Bank of Ghana was buying gold for their internal reserves, which is a new Bank of Ghana, Oma to go the go, and Oma to go the go. Then they were also buying gold for the gold for oil. And no one Oma Bekate, almost all gold na no more suppliers na almost the products. If I show you here, 1.8 billion, and there was a loss of 1.8 billion. I mean, the next line I you busa say into gold for oil no in a good impact on Ghana's economy. The program helped reduce demand for US dollar from bulk oil distributors. A total FX demand of 1.66 billion would have otherwise increased demand on the inter-FX market and put pressure on the exchange rate to cover 56 cargoes, totaling 1.84 million metric tons of petroleum products. In Unyaba, Obi, Bank of Ghana for the control. Bank of Ghana for the almost a chakata as you. And I almost say almost too good at the Akakoma almost petroleum products no almost boka and 1.8. In fact, gold na a coin a why Emma interbank market in FX no a reduce pressure no also. We Enyamina Maker Bank of Ghana for Neka. And yes, in my guy among your seven nugget say it's Papa Ghana. In your brother, ye Bibia honorable minister so he should come and apologize because the fact that Bank of Ghana does not support what he said.
Enti sabre o ebi ana wono so ma e ma mechirim. Usu se ene tebia no ayewo mu no e wo oil adwadie eni sika kokko gold adwadie ho no. Ene na no abandada na de no e ya de kro anansesa bi abemu.
Oh, ene gold adwadie di de almost say gold board. Gold, or more no marcoton, no more day. We see in your but I mean, can't say people have been show. Say, over to gold, Ghana. No more cotton, manoni. Now, Ode dollar naba. Ababitia, Ubika, Ghana. Now, over to gold, Now, Ode gold, the movie, a cop. Now, Asamofana Samunko. What's the difference, Beno? Meaning, any gold now, May obi di agene aba enna amanyo semunti no mo pese mo bana mo kase enye sa na mo ye obi e wan na bi gold ade ba ye ni mo akoti gold board yes ye kase ye tia nyomaka ye normal ye importer e ba Ghana how do we get dollar in Ghana import and export ya nyoma e be kra kwa ma no ni ye koku ni nyoma no na dollar ne ba na Bank of Ghana di e tia for importation of products enye say Oji sa cities no ewo local market for petroleum products. Now odi to gold. Now who the gold ni kwa manone cotton. Now odi says caniba. Now also their own house say odi shore reserves. Odi shore reserves no na sa dollar ni go no be the product but na odi tiaka. And now say, oh, this side, she cannot go to good. When you put the banana goods, the man, no, mean about difference, you know. Meaning, I know good, yeah, money. And you see, I am not on your same, you know. Yet, I think I can't say this will be matter. And in 2023-2024, you were in Jumabi or Ghana. Now almost is manoni, Abia or Babaya Juma or Ghana, or your Jumavia, your money dividends. And I say, or this Kaka, a command parent company. No. Some of them, when Bank of Ghana couldn't find them gold, Bank of Ghana couldn't find them cities. Oh, gold, oh, what you gold, no. Over to the gold, Nakwa, Amanoni, Aquaco, yeah, then Akutia, and that's all the Akotona Manonina is as good because all these cats. Say name me back piece of it. Let me be Mushu, Mushu, you and the Wanda Yakoso, and Kerama Sakrafacano, the good Fako. But you know, the good Nakaponani, at the Aton, at the sky, the same thing. And we knew a Susuya at them, the only need the Nanado of my MPP. What's the difference? The only difference is that Omo person who Bobako is seen, no more cast the Omo Yen, any good at the But won't you mean say there was nothing like you did good or amanyoso akutia ubika because Bank of Ghana for natural as I say omuko to good nempuno na good to muno omoboka
yo mirayate ya dansini nchirimu bibia ni ayebesa ba o
Mr. Me say omo freno na some kind give you big time protocol no yes I misspoke I no apologize. Yes, I better time is because in threat to say you don't jump for me.
You. Yeah, that's say Orako Johnson for Poku and Yeneno Edisa and Komoyi.
Na Enra and for the time for Dr. Kezela to force in Comra Sibejofi. Said the near woman Amania Dada and Edita Quine say. I feel watching you. Now, a mamma near Mania Moon and your mambo is a moon. I was so Comra Sibejofi. What do you buy no? Na mambo nse say yeti trofasi kasem ho afi no efa etoso mienu ekwawie ye na se de sitie na ansana anura nkomo no ebekoso amrase bedofie no mo beka ya Peace FM premto breka se bom ya ne ekuwudo a budget no aye ready no esunsun sanso se ye papa se ye bone ekọ wo mo so pa no ye ni bi bonkomo bi sa wo mo se ede na omani da kwan Ejana wamo se budget no ebebem titro ne edwa wamu die ene sikasem enho ntotoye na yakwa amano so ne Association of Ghana Industries President Odano Dr. Humphrey Eyim Dake atwetwe nkomo Doc Mahen
afternoon good afternoon
Pajobo kodie
na metiase
odinyamiase Mejidi yese enra ansana fotosanfo komra se bedwom de budget no media de no akono na mo wone me bia na as an association mo hwe ne mo se ebe capture bi be yet to address bia challenges ne dia moye di esie bibi sa bai amakoma tom yema na
ampa no so kan no ye de nyema ba community to honorable to force me for budget review. And also previous budget, initial budget and so. And also send you a say Obeshamana Ato Obeshamana reflects our budget move for this last quarter of the year. And he included some of our concerns. You need to do yes, issued regarding VAT, you know, or such a boss of a young or young woman. I the minister a young woman. You are part of the team that is consulting now. The effective reforms. So we acknowledge, yes, VAT reforms, no, amber buckets, but he indicated good intentions and good faith to perfect it before the close of year. We acknowledge that. Secondly, we appreciate the position of macroeconomic indicators are reflecting within the last 6 months. That is giving us hope and giving us the impetus to keep producing our product. We appreciate the position of issues regarding smuggling and then the leakages at the port, including the documentation that it's part of the domestic revenue leakages. There is so many physical regime, debt position, issues regarding cost of doing business. So we acknowledge a number of issues and we are discussing with him as well.
Ebi wo mu a enkomo twetwe ni fitase nura eba ni na no ebi so emom te se dia wo kenye wo mpa nanso so nanka wo mo expect more as you live a twist then ya he will ask for more most one sanity.
Oh, definitely maybe the economy free and some of the over PKR and there are more things to be done. Issues regarding cost of power. Those are cross-cutting and nyamo betumi aso. Nti ene di hu komo the penny nyina na the amayen. But we GDA say as we proceed, as it consolidates in the fiscal regime and the fiscal discipline and stimulating the economy for growth, we will attain those heights one step at a time.
Enti ye ka de awie se ye budget a eni daso wom arehyiemu wom ahotoso wom ye num nso twen ope.
That's correct. Because within the 6 months he's demonstrated stability. Macro indicators demonstrated in descend my confidence is restored into the economy for producers and businessmen at large. For now, we can give him a thumbs up for the good job done for the last 6 months. Going forward, those are the details that we need to be sure, sir, for producers and businessmen at large. For now, good job done for the last and goose. We give him a thumbs up for the 6 month job done.
Peace FM that's here.
It's a pleasure.
Dr. Humphrey Eyim Dake, President Emma Association of Ghana Industries. And yana kasa ye no. Na enwawia yani Executive Secretary the Ma Importers and Exporters Association of Ghana. Yewra Samson Asaki Awingobit. Etwetwe nkomo. What can you know? Now it has to do with you know. Now it has to do with your dollar in no one sense some name. And when you didn't to diama one dollar edidwa. Bank of Ghana say e wo ho. Nanso wo banks na wo munye bi. The finance minister kafa e ho no. E yi won sama no.
I'm saying dollar disparity na ya kana some on count on some kind of say since for as the office as the financial there has been some coordination, agent coordination, the minister coordination, and that has yielded the result that we are seeing the stability of the dollar to the Ghana currency, to the dollar as well. Maybe the issues that we have raised in regards to Ghana Central Bank being with different giving rates, different rates to different banks to operate within our country, and even including the for 1 or 2 or 3 forex exchange bureaus, you will see that they are also using different rates. I think it's something that we need to petition. Probably my office intend to write that particular to the Minister of Finance to bring his attention to find out, because on the submission or can say government contract will no longer quote dollars. And so you see some of these people, they will come and quote dollars with the rate, with the different rate. They will tell that my bank, this is what I will get from my bank. So they still money and better dollars. this is the rate I'll be getting in my bank. That is a very serious issue. I think we have to deal with it as a country. And so, I know that we can have an issue. And if I can say, what happens here? Customs are using 10.4 to calculate this. As the custom base is 10.4 to calculate this year. Abansan and super line, the Baba catch them say, almost for a year more portal. So, Obama General, maybe they will borrow to also General local handling charge as they are claiming, which I think that local handling charge is illegal. They are using their own rate, and if you ask them, they will tell you, I take in different banks, so that is the rate I will get from my bank. And that was the kind of guidelines that Bank of Ghana also issued. So Bank of Ghana just came to accept that it's true. Commercial banks have been working in the same environment. They have different rates because that's the rate the Bank of Ghana has approved for them. And I think that is wrong because Bank of Ghana should be able to bring a uniformity. Custom is 10.4. Everyone should be 10.4. You go to black market, it should be 10.4. You should regulate it. I don't think Bank of Ghana is regulating the banks. You say you are regulating, but why do you give them different rates in any case? Because no bank, one of the days that President Support era that a bank, commercial banks import the forest by themselves and trade with it. This today, as we speak now, it is Bank of Ghana that upload forest to the commercial bank. So why do you allow them to use their own rate? Why do you give them different rates? Why can't you give a uniform rate? Until that is done, we have a challenge on the rate issue that we are talking about in the country.
Auntie, we'll be back on the broth after all said and done. No? Sir, budget, he said, I can't carry the moon. Some we now born come off from crank to crank. Ni na some never year could say. I found Importers and Exporters Association. More how more challenges, oh, Mojuma Muyimu. Yet, Muhun is a media budget near woman. A yenina soa, a bit to make us say, oh, a we ever fine. To be uncana come to him.
Oh, I know I can say, Obey reform will continue. Remember one of the things that I expressed that they did engagement and we were not informed, but he said the engagement continues. It will be done in the 2026 budget. That will be presented in some time for them. So the engagement is going to continue. And then he made mention that he intends to scrap off the VAT flat rate and then come up with the uniformity. That is what the business community will be looking forward to see. Again, he said that he's going to abolish the COVID level. You know, many workers are before the budget and the I'll be surprised if he comes to Parliament and do not abolish or scrap off the COVID levels, which he indeed presented yesterday that the government will abolish the COVID levels. And of course, he said he will do some kind of tax reform. Reforms at the custom division under the Ghana Revenue Authority. Or can I say there have been so many locations at the Ghana Custom Authority. He was emphatically and said that they want to do staff review. They want to add tools like AI, we call it AI, right? AI system, and then also to make sure that the pre-arrival system will work. And then when cargo vessels will be arriving, the Ghana Custom Authority 24 hours documents before they arrive, so that government will be able to know the needed review that they are going to call. And then, of course, he also mentioned the Akan in the Upper East region, where it's located around Boku area. That is also another border that goods are coming to. So, it's not only the port that are the limitations. I think, what about the smuggling goods that are coming from Sampa, the smuggling name Sampa, Elibo, and the rest. So, I think that we need to tighten the borders as well, not get the port alone. And so that if the government can get the money. But let me say, whilst we also look forward, we were also thinking that the minister would say, okay, I will give a fixed rate at the port. As we speak now, the customs are using 10.4 in particular duty. Would the minister say this will run for 4 months or this will run for 3 months, subject to review, so that to stop this every week something? Because as we speak today, Friday, assuming work of Habu, now customs amount will be with that is the money supposed to pay, and you're unable to pay today, Friday. On tomorrow you could not pay. Sunday won't meet you. Monday won't meet you. Tuesday morning when you go in the custom move the rate from 10.4 to let's say 10.8. What it means that you cannot pay that that was due on Friday. You have to go back to do an entry to amend to correct the difference. So that you have to go and borrow more money for the difference. So if it's 10.4 and now 10.8, meaning the 4 pesos, you have to go and look for it, come and add it before you can pay. If you don't bring the money, you cannot pay. So what it means that if we give you rate today, duty today and you're unable to pay, by Tuesday you should go to pay the same duty. There's no need for you to go and then you have to cut money that you do not. Because at the time I was almost due is a quarter duty. The one due to and a Friday, up to Monday. It means that you are going to look for money to pay. You cannot work. I think I'm going to duty. You have to go and come look for the money. You brought the money in and they say no, you have to do amend because one thing you have since Friday up to Monday and then next Tuesday cost of I didn't use it the back. So that amount can no longer accept. You have to amend it to correct the current one. And again, I think inflation rate we take it at 3.8%. More you buyer 13%. Now a buyer is looking forward to make it. He is looking forward. That is his target to bring it to 11% by end of the year. The attorney say if inflation rate was fixed at 23.8, why is it that prime rate at the Bank of Ghana is still on the high? You still maintain it. Why did the Monetary Policy Committee went to the meeting and still maintain it? Because I know previous government under Dr. Addison or at the point he has to up the prime rate, and then he stated categorically that he was doing that because to fight inflation, and he even asked commercial banks to also increase the interest rate. As you speak, because the prime rate is still on the high, interest rate is not coming. Even though finance minister can say 27%, it's still a worrisome situation to us because within the sub-region here, South Africa, Kenya, and the rest, and some of them are borrowing at 6% per annum, 10% per annum. And if you are borrowing at 27% per annum, I still think that one inflation has come down drastically is to correlate with the prime rate because the Bank of Ghana lends to commercial banks. So Bank of Ghana prime rate should come down. Then the Bank of Ghana can also instruct commercial banks to also bring their interest rate down so that it will be good for business community. I think above all, I would say that the presentation was good. These are some of the things if the government is able to bring their attention to it, it will help all of us. And indeed, we are also appealing, just like the finance minister appealed to us to say that they have worked hard. That is true. They have brought inflation down. They have been stability in the city. They should also make sure that if the commercial, our people go to the commercial bank, the complaint is that the commercial bank, they pay $1. The commercial bank doesn't have $1. The point is that the most annoying thing is that Bank of Ghana is uploading $1 commercial bank say they should treat. And if they are giving them money, say almost the marketer, so you go to the commercial bank, it's 11 cities, but you go to Alaji, it's 12.8 and at 13, then you have to buy. You are forced to buy. I think finance ministers should also make sure that governor of Bank of Ghana and then the monetary team, if they should go out, they shouldn't be sitting in their office. The commercial bank says if they give you for us to trade, you must trade with the rate that we approve for you. And I think that will also go along with the health. And indeed, finance ministers should also say, you say, buying TPS and power. Importers pay freight, the trade freight and match shipping line. Every ship owner, there's nothing like ship owner in Ghana here. Familiar record that I said there's no any ship owner in shipping in Ghana here. Or more have met line, the Maldi, PIL. Or more now they are representing their principal. Every ship owner, before you allow your ship to go to any country, to call to a country port, on him say ship number of two where he's loading the cargo, be it China, be it Holland, be it US. As soon as you get to Ghana port and ship.
I think your monetary budget, I think your monetary budget, so far so good here. You say then you complain, you have to say, if you are not people who are going to be about 2 years, why you better start complaining. So far as I want to be about 2 years, so you say, in China, you will budget that. Now, by tax, if you don't be able to shimu, you are going here, we are tennis. It's very fun to say, so far so good here. We are very, very impressed. Honestly, we are impressed.
And Japan is a hundred or so.
You hope, but hopefully, you hope, 2026. Because ocean now economy FK and I see the young for them. They say the far 2026 year. Yes, I was also hoping the department because dollar no it means a stable now. Students they appreciate the economy is stable. A journey to the solo. A man hope them. If you say that the quality you are also 2026.
Where the other crack room, my mimisa. Na enyama ba ku mienu miensa be pa na eya ade amoni di akire pa se mo hwe sense atra ye beba ho no ebeboa ma adwa mudie no mo ahare mo na because cost of doing business no enye high enra waka bibi fa ho se wenye mfiri okra na so wanye ni na kra abane tu wana mo amogide se ebe wiye na aboa edwa amodie
na ni di the pass kwan o me fa se dollar no ebe access with my 24 no on na ye ni we the pass aban say dollar no ye 10.4 10.5 na aboji policy 30 the hon na how can say pa obeti be to commentary na ye communicating na ana isika no dollar na ko digaga policy the hon no na ye di ba ni say am kaye mu no e kire say o ma dollar na ye dey accessible to ko Japan sa obeti access we the dollar no so no ye can say dollar no ye dollar ni kese because as a businessman there o kwa o transfer sika di ko ba obenya kaka di aton di akọ to o bank na wu nya no o na ye the problem there e di ebubo ni ba no they say o ma share bo say e be access to one bank to dia why not o hope so me tell can say the na ko di things here issues dey be why you raising ni na no so mo ti ni first of my dia and there I want to so 326 o simple line for now both week ebe for even embedded in the they play to old bridge na the buy last month over China embedded for almost 15 city last month 15 city that another land here say 10 city you don't see 10 city so it is simple and for embedded is almost all the rate also as a quantity before it's no crown be fast on very so service embedded for the actual motor measure more wire it will be time I think that so far so good yeah we are much impressed media budget so no etimi card money be am fan take one on my hope to be
yeah better say we the communications officer Edma Busu can spare part dealers association any no so kasai
na no pay wo kokroko djuma a yedie no eso no chairman general Kwame Sefa Kanyam wo ye titrani kokroko chiame pania na wo di djuma no anim efre opania oda Ghana Union of Traders Association guta na de oda no ye Dr. Joseph Obin onene twetwe komobusa se enra Midday budget review no ekomra shebedwom no opani kan sembe breed nchechemu bebre baye se adwadifo ekuo na woda no se titrani de hin ekọ won yie na de hin so na anko won yie
the Akan say they are not yet anymore. Na nukrini the stability of the local currency. Na encheshaya wabadi to akwem say let me sustain ta gains ya yenye. Nti onoso edito so as a kwembia no wabobeko so no encheshaya papa omodi ato wa yenya sa gains ya beto so na ina yemo ato ya ne di ija. Ti eno sa no homba no ende ema manije. Nemum na kami peti ni say against na yenya no its impact on utilities say ocean utility charges is so going up against of the forest the interest rate is yet even to come down.
Okay.
It is sanya no na na me pe say yebetimi ahwe
onipo kasayi Dr. Joseph Obin wa manuensi ha chairman general Busane say si akasa yi adwadifo ye wo Ghana ha sei wo mo ekọ black market gawo alaji na abochi na mo kokose sika no wodi sika na ekọ dia bank je wo kwa akwaje dollar dia bank si binni ho na no nso wo ma na montutuo wo ho no sen na akosie
Bana, say no Bank of Ghana to invest into more but so many banks will make us no more where the loophole na Oma mended.
Ni boka sayi titani ma Ghana Union of Traders Association guta yera Joseph Obin Isaac Opoku yasalmane Isaac fiafia ono tintim semyi ebaye
na enra media budget no nkoma na eguso ayeboyi David Amwanten ye president Edma Traders Advocacy Group Ghana ayetwe wonti ase tag one Peace FM ekasai anu obama ne se enra se de na ekueku ahodo ni na ni da kwan na wo mo de na mo hwe ni mu se finance minister begina bana na mu aka a ede anwo hare bebre adwuma wo mo ye no Sadan so and Traders Advocacy Group Ghana. Now, one must only da kwan. Epe bibiati, epe bibie na nukra so beka nukra pa dia. Dia na wo mani daso. Ese wo mu be ene dia wo mbete no. Nyame anim ne enra. Wo ma ehunu sa, ene wo ma ntene sa. Ekoye bibio something which is the titru ne enyama enu wo mu die asie. Ewo edwa wo mu die mu ananka. Wo mu hwese finance minister begina bana na mu. Adense se yene ntotia ebeyi sa wo hawo ne free wo no wo mante ankrankran nyumakuo titru ne adentamo ni akete boge ene nyumakuo no a enya piafo ebetumi aye kese atre bagaya no nyema ha wo mo no wo mo hawo ni agubre wo mante ene wo mahu wo se ba ko pa ye dollar no a obi nim se wakwa akodi ahodi nro bie mu so akọ beni akodi ahodi nura na so akọ jema ko peja benya na dio dollar na ho de magani so se abedwa ama edwa wo mudie ne boa ye den papa eya ye kanko a ho se na kompese finance minister boho pa na wo mu hyehyeye ne ntotua abani die gu akwan mu ama dollar ho sensem wa be na wotwe miensani ye tibi wo de bonkrata mu na Africa se fidi ahodo so no anamo no man sheda hu anamo poti aban etu je tosu mienu wo he dollar ya ho asem yi so a ntse ye pa no mo pese o mote eya nhyehyeye ya aban no de gu akwan mu so de be che dollar na gina fa akon na wontumi ntunu na mpo no amache eyi akea wei eni pie kan wona no omani da kwan a wo mantene sa
as a trade advocate in India, my expectation wasn't met and yamani share nimu say peg dollar rate at the port 2% import duty ye fi ono mono ni na ya and ya manasa some of us na ya disappointed kaka the dollar rate na ye kano ye commercial banks na ye binye say ye commercial bank ye dollar rate na ye 10.3 10.4 a better money boa a dollar about 11.8 and at all finance minister governor etini a boa dollar no at 10.3 na a better boa me at and then one some more
Actually, and was say, what much is a COVID-19 levy no? Finance Minister can say, Aban be ye free, was saying the woman did papa. Now, Aban to me was say, yo, now COVID-19 levy no, or you free was say, Kim. The Abema Traders Advocacy Group Ghana, Enya Amotoswanya Resimu, Ewa Bamuno, and once I'm now walking, say, Aban do a say, be ye or yo, a COVID-19 levy no, a free ho.
By the end of this year, so I'm back on the COVID. By the end of the year, and can maybe budget and anything to see on them. You live in the free on them. But that was a border. We hold into this promise now at the end of this year. We need to on them because it will be so cafeteria almost a share home, but mobile bay. If you are a Bobwa, I'm a GDA and Kofoto war applying on our costly. Now, you're quite a better and near ma or Montpellier. Before prior to 2024 election, and now boss and I'm finding a way to the meeting budget in the coming budget now on November. No, you don't say
yeah, I am President at the Traders Advocacy Group Ghana. Ora David, I'm watching you on Prince Bafwa Samoa, and some training and a bonkomo.
Juma bi akoso ewo Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology na juma no na enhyehyeye ne amane ampanifo na e-learning international conference wode adan wedie Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology dwesio kasemu ewo Kumase ewo Asante Mantamu ene ho adwabo no ekoso na juma no ase na opani a wode suapono ano mekire pro vice chancellor one Professor David Asamwade nsembi atudwa na Asamwade tudwa no woka ede kire suafo ene omanma ene enipa petie nyina se ebredu setitiru woni a ewo suapon adesua dwesio mu no wo mu pesua hunu bi efri COVID-19 no a nano eba ye besensen wiase komu ene oyonne ko a ede ebreye no ho wɔ say COVID-19 ba ye no ebe ha nipa wa kwan bebree so ye dada brabo ya disua ene enema ahodo bebree mu entity bia bi to say Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology COVID-19 bremu no ana wo mu nya asuahunu a emu pie ede fa abefo kwan a wonsimu pampampan enkwa adesua bia wutimi tena wadwasuo asua de ma ne ye bra wudi wonkui de your friend online learning no wo mu ekura mu twetwe na so mfa so de aye bobrujam ne kyerɛkyerɛ mu no wasese ye gina mu sese ye yi entete bia na asuapon bi te se Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology wo mu e e-learning no akɔnanimu ankasa enema a wo mu kyerɛ e osuapon no mu no de asuafo sua efiri suapon ne ho no dodo no a anaso efa kese no a no matretremu ama enam abefo ntentan no kwan so a wato di virtual learning environment na aboa e wa kwan pii so enti enei enya wanwa se wotre won pewa mu ama e-learning international conference yi ye de ahyehye so na wagina no so atretra hye mu e wa adesua ene ananimde ne pe emu we say enti na wo ka kire suapon woni ebo ho brase ebre no nie so momo ni eku e-learning ana digital abefo ntentan na kwai fa so a ye di dwuma COVID-19 amekire ye hwe no abebie ye ni ewo ho.
In this unfolding digital era, we are faced with a singular question. How do we ensure that the innovation we so fervently embrace remains rooted in responsibility and inclusivity? The COVID-19 pandemic served as a catalyst for change in many sectors, but none more so than education. When the pandemic struck, institutions across the globe, including our own, were confronted with an unprecedented disruption to traditional teaching and learning systems. Here at KNUST, we pivoted with purpose. We expanded our virtual learning environment, digitalized our course content, and trained our faculty to deliver instruction using digital tools. We moved swiftly but strategically, ensuring that our shift to online learning was not a stopgap solution, but a springboard for long-term transformation.
So soye hanu nembom eba beye pempim kase a ye kyere no ema ya nwomasua ene suapon mu abrabo etimi agina yi ne de achi ena Israel banam senior wogana ha a woni Yera Roy Gillard ena fe director Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology wo e-learning center Professor Eric Apeu Asante so anyway to so
the relations between Israeli academic institutions and Ghanaian academic institutions became very active. There are quite a significant number of Ghanaian students that are studying in Israel. But again, going back to Israeli universities, I think we are very proud of the partnership.
This conference is more than an event. It is, in fact, a global classroom where the blackboard has become the screens that we will be watching from, and the textbooks has evolved into a dynamic digital ecosystem. We are bringing together thinkers, educators, and trailblazers to exchange transformative ideas on how technology is redefining the educational experience, not just in elite lectures, like an elite lecture hall, but in the most remotest corner of our communities.
Eranu mienu ekase kyerɛ yi de etene kase sie yi eye Professor Eric Apeu Asante ansana no Yera Roy Gillard a we director we ambassador emma Israel ban ewo my Ghana mu ene kasaye yense kyerɛ ni pani otonkra efri Asante mantemu Samson Kwame Nyameche amaneboni
Otumfo Foundation ene ekuwudo ne aboafo aya wa tu aka bom se tatale aya mamna ne amane ebie artificial intelligence AI laboratory from nu dwan ano e de ama toase krokese na toase kro ya ye ken wa atwema wo bieja south municipality vice board chairman Edema Otumfo Foundation eye esumnyahene na not intrama na wɔne na kasa yɛ wɔ dwumedi nase ɛna wɔka sɛ sɛntie ho akɔnyia sɛ abɛɛfo kwan a yɛfa so esua deɛ abɛɛfo kwan yɛfa so ɛyɛ nneɛma mprempren no ɛho akɔnyia sɛ asantema mu nso wɔtrɛm ɛmɛkokɔkɔ beebia titiro ne beebia nkoda wo sua deɛ ne sɛ ewiase ayɛwɔ yi bra no edi adane sɛ abosoma kotrɛ ne senti sɛ wiase adane ma yɛsɛ yi yɛwɔ digital ana technology a na ehu behia sɛ yɛnkwada wɔ mo ba no nso so yɛbɛmu wɔ mo digital ne technology adesua na ama wɔ mo ne wɔ mo fɛfo a wɔ mo wɔ amanya aka so wɔ mo sia wɔ beebia si akan a yɛnkwada no antosini ɛwɔ mu ebiew wɔsrɛ mpanimfo a wɔn wɔto ase MA basic school ɛhɔ ɛna smart AI lab yi wɔn siesie a ɛna yɛ bia no yi wɔsrɛ school mpanimfo ne school nkwadaa a wɔn na wɔn bɛ use lab wɔn sɛ wɔn hwɛ so yie paa sɛ de bɛ afoforo nso so a wɔn bɛba wɔn akyi ɛbɛnya so mfa so sɛ deɛ sɛ na ɛfata
adwuma yɛdi nyinaa yɛdi mahifo enkwara school for emabunu free ne eko nyinaa when opportunity sɛ mo be use sa AI lab enye team bia and o se tra na adwene sɛ computer eba be sɛ adwuma ye gidi sɛ enum e na eba be pagya adwuma sɛ mo asuafo mo frase entem na mo sua ne yia adwuma mo pese mo ye no mo nyine a mo ye no mo frase kra dada na mesre a teacher for aye de sɛ adwumadi e be hye mo nsa mo wo asudi pa mi sɛ mo de bi no so mbotumi aye so ntimeku so na madam ase sɛ mo hwɛ ne ma no so yi si ne be ya ensei ansa na be sɛ kra no ne yɛhwɛ sɛ ye be ye ho maintenance ye
yɛtene ne ɛyɛ asumnya yene na na ɔkyere ntrama ɔyɛ vice board chairman de ma otumfo foundation ɛno akyerɛ yi ɛna education director ɔwɔ atwemama biagya south municipality nana pokia muako ɛne wɔyene kɛsɛ ɔwɔ to ase nana yim awrɛ ababio ɛso ne Peace FM ɛkasae.
The inauguration of the AI lab here at Tuase is a bold step towards equipping our children with the needed tools and skills they need to thrive in a fast-changing digital world. I am confident that this lab will transform the technological journey of every pupil or student who walks through its doors with determination and curiosity. It will serve as a catalyst for innovation, creativity, and academic excellence.
Ohine ebetra akonya so yi o ka se adesua de on tunase nemrem enko kon fa gichire man bi e de adesua e de mpuntuo e da gichire o man eno ana ekoso na to anse so ye hunu bie school for nkra so nemrem de adesua ye de abefo mfidi abai e na yesua na abefo mfidi e adesua computer yi so adesua for tima ya ma bia kwa animu esi afedi e de bibi se artificial intelligence aba nkra yi nyina mo ehomode ne yesua ne ye
ya yɛtene nkɛnyɛ yɛ to ase hene nana yim awrɛ ababio asana nana bɛkasa no yɛte nana pokia muako atwemama biagya south municipality education director nso so ɛne na yɛfiri to ase a yɛnkɔ menhyiafi kɛseɛm director general de social security and national insurance trust SNET ɛne mpanimfoɔ baanan ɛkɔ menhyia wɔmokɔ otisi kedwa kofi ni menya so a krawuri ene brawuri ye ne nasentia so kro bia refia sante kotoko kuma pema pembe ba wo yen kase otumfo se tutu the second naso kochi anana ene nana bonkomo na enkomobom ena nana etu wo mofo se emperimfo wo mo hwe SNET sika so wo besre pa we do obo ne die kwan so wo sre tu wo mofo no wo mo kasa se anamo bia wo mbetu se wọ́n de ahomegyefo sika pension scheme emusika ade bia wọ́n de sika ne beye titru ne se wọ́n de koya investment wọ́n de koya bibi mu se ebeso mfaso ama pension scheme no mu atre no na so obesre pa se aya wọ́n mo moni na ho na wọ́n nhwe ne yie pa ehunhia esan se wọ́n ya ye wọ́n yi wọ́n mo atitru mo ya abaye djuma a wọ́n be kwa ahomegye mu na ya na wọ́n ni da so nyina ye pension no a wo kwa ahomegye mu a ebeboa mu wo dada setran so akoyie na se ko ba se empanimfo da pension ske ya no amfa nya de pa amfa anye de se nefata amanfa so amanna egu a ebema wo mo mekọ pension so asetire mu nsem daache aye bibi ho
yɛde koto tebui yɛde koto bui ni adaadaa no ne yɛdaadaa no a mfasoɔ no nso bɛba na atwe no nso asa yɛ agyapade ama yɛ na no mɔtumi deɛ nti deɛ ɔyɛ investment na ɔso ɔtumi hwɛ hunu sɛ ampa sɛ deɛ yɛyɛ yi bɛboa ma adwuma yɛ akɔ so ampa nti saa nneɛma bi na sɛ ɔanyɛ feasibility yɛ nhu sɛ ampa bi na sɛ ɔanyɛ feasibility yɛ nhu sɛ ampa sɛ bɛboa mu a sika no kɔm na ama na atia bo nti nyinaa mo nka mo na mo mmoa mo nua nyɛ ma adwuma no yɛ
na Otumfo say to the second na nakasa wiye and na Director General the Social Security and National Insurance Trust owura kwesi afrebaini enso eka say
yɛpɛ sɛ yɛma Ghanafoɔ nyinaa hu sɛ ɔmo nkɔ so mfa ɔmo rɛ nhyɛ yɛm na senate wɔ hɔ yi yɛbɛkɔ so atua pension anytime that it is due yɛbɛkɔ so a investe sika a Ghanafoɔ ɛde brɛ yɛ sɛ yɛn investe ɛma ɔmo daakye ne nti yɛmdi ɔmo hwɛmmɔ yɛbɛkɔ so abɔ yɛn ho mmɔden ne yɛate yɛn anim mfifiri ne yɛayɛ adwuma ahyɛ Ghanafoɔ nyinaa anuonyam yɛbɛ encourage Ghanafoɔ mo yɛ adwuma nyinaa sɛ yɛmfa yɛ daakye personal bɛjoin ne senate scheme no wobɛjoin a ɛnyɛ pension pɛ sɛbe wodi democrat or invalidity cover amount nti yɛwɔ nneɛma bebree a sɛ wobɛdɔm senate ekuo no na woyɛ yɛ member unya nti yɛbɛsrɛ Ghanafoɔ yɛbɛsrɛ employers yɛnkɔ so register yɛ members sɛnea ɛbɛyɛ a ɔmo daakye ɛbɛyɛ papa kyɛn ne yɛte sese
yɛte ne Director General that Social Security and National Insurance Trust ano owura kwesi afrebaini Samson Kwame Nyameche ene diaman boy mienu efra santima mu brɛ
waye amane bi de Adan Health Center wasi na wode ma omanma ya water kwansuayem ene ne mpotemu na opani a ohwa apomuden so ewo ho Dr. Wilhelmina Tiwadua ena ekwase ekokogye ye ya wosan da ho ase na sa health center no Benso Health Center wodi sikapa some 700,000 Ghana cedis and a chichiri si home. Dr. Wilhelmina Tiwa dia ekasa ewo dwumano ase no di tu dwasen. Mpox yare no atu atese ewo atoye mantam nom die ntia etesa no. Eye sede ho enwumanwuma ne adwadie ne ahoho enyina di ho ahyemfre. Nunti ani baabi asese wo mo akwakodrum enti de wo mo ye bi ene se wo mo de nkyerɛkyerɛ manfo se ye mfa sapokro nware woni obi tifie kro mfa sapokro ye mfa boro bakro ye nhye sabia moasene kro saa nyama ne nyina ye nkyerɛkyerɛ wo mo eye na wo mo de ahwɛ abrebrasa yare no a etu atese no ano
I say I confirm 55 na yare we research nso ma ye hu se baby a say yare ade bia meka se nipa ede movie no anytime nipa nkita hundie dɔɔso wɔ kuro bia so se saa yare no so e ka se esi a esi wɔ hɔ pa yegusu a ye advocacy in fact ya visiting companies p any issue a etene fa hohoro yensa yen hwɛ se obi a rashes won ho yen so ne mu basa na nsɛm bi kɔ so a na ye fi say ni ho even sisi a still ye onkofo mu ne omo tawo omo dware support omo dware so be ko fie bi na tawo ba ko pe na omo nyina UC support ba ko na omo nyina UC sabe ne ma ye de ye humpo fan say obi panta na say underwears ne ade kra no be hwe no na ebi mu ho a omo hye secondary school boarding house na we akoda we impaso we uniforms wo ho a na obi nso afa na ode ahye ni nyina ye niema a etimi ma yare ba
anso ho okasafa o hawa wo mo wo ye nunti ametoda na dia nurse fo eba pom ho a na wo mo emba na wo ka ne sa no de aseda ma benso oil palm plantation fo esanse wo mo akwakosi nurse fo bungalow ahodo miensa 3 flats ene de ama benso health center no
Bob Wine papa gone are the days you post staff you don't ba ben so ha ebonde wasana aba back to directorate there director ya hwehwe dana yenye bi bonde mpanyimfo nananom ye da to nanim ochi wo pedan na yehu de adwumadi pi wo krom hanti o ma dan hwehwe no oye den na no bo no so oye twamen nti no staff no wo post on them na bi mpo baba ne salary pondi kanem be rent akese na even ebechima mpo no enye bi no na oyada in fact no hoyen odu tembi mpo na e dey say you run a night service at a point ni team you run a night service so and the number of staff na nke yehia wa ha no na ondru cause kofo no bana wonya dana na wasa won echi nti no ye de koto bob fu n'ani ma wa boayen wo dem facility no.
Ora Victor Atamponsa Human Resource Manager Mabenso Oil Palm Plantation. What do we to so?
Fadia fire sound until BS be bit mama iresa wokrum hano etumpon se bi se nurse for mu ba no muni adwumaya omuni ba bi da e hadwen nti bota ne se as part of our corporate social responsibility no ye bebo akuri na ya provide this facility no let mama adwumaya for no ahotoyem no motimi aye adwumaye nti bota pa ne se ye be facility healthcare nti ye be se adwumaye no etru bi a ya na se e ba so mpese ye bebo ma na nko modwen se kana prim so nenso nam sika 17 no anti tribia na omu pesenka enya omu di nanka bibia obeka bia na yaye nanso enhye ana gina isikasem so anti yaye ni pedie emse eni saa challenge eta ifiso no
na ne krakra no na adwoa kunadwoa eye wasafia se traditional area hema with the way to so
and boys about boy hempa because yenyi baby nurses no water and so transfer be no ma ba ha because of accommodation na wasa no woko nti yenye yi odibia ba ha obesti obenye baby wada wenya asomdwe nti mjis da obesti afoto me ba ma ho na obetemi de o ma yenhwe aza wa ya men bopo fa ya me hen no na sika wo boy da woda ya no sika no muyeduru pa ti e bo hwe dem sika no muyeduru na ya say na ehun yin faso nti mesrede so wo denim na wo use dana bo hwe mosima say fa na CVT wa oboso say glass okoro oba na wato bi ahye say auto closet bi a ne baby pack kakra na woda ahye
Yensentreni apia dankwa wotonkra efri takra de ne mpotamu na odi ne nkwi rock FM ene bo amane no ebaye yegina so ahomeka sibu so madaroma yeba
so wakoma ho hyehyew ana ebo periperi de broni kan hardware no a ede na se woye na se woyam so atim so
wo be pack na farmer Martin's liver salt akira kwan entem ahwie nsu agu glass mo ate Martin's liver salt no ba kwa no na wo de agum
wo be hu se ehuru wa glass ni mu na wanom Martin's liver salt ye won orange flavor ana ba ko so ye plain
wonumu a ho beto nemum edi nanu na ho ntowo a ko hu doctor
Ferrolet eniani dronie midofo wo ye adwuma kakra bia na wa bre wo sori odua so wontumi nidi akwadampo de okese na wonyini atoape Ferrolet niani dro na mekanfo ma wo Ferrolet niani dro vitamin B1 B2 B12 folic acid zinc iron copper ne lysine wom biotin womo biotin yetirwe ni wedie ye mano ye kama ene wo so wom no Ferrolet niani dro ne besiesie o Ferrolet Ferrolet enye na wo pharmacy shop biara ebe wo mu etufonko Harvard Pharmaceuticals Limited enkran okaishi ene SGSSB Bank na hwe animo 0244-631-402 ana Pilcare Pharmacy East Legon America House 0599-889972 edi aji edwedi nkrato yatom.
Tune it in, turn it up,
Peace FM,
and rip off the knob.
Kasebo no asi akenkanfo a moti yenkan eyemin nana ya kunedu menem
ohene nana kwame amo
ya dia sede ma MTN for the isimaba Say said the here so ekoko nante no akọ MTN shop. Eno akọ G eSIM na akọ sim eSIM electronic digital baby NMBT ekọ seamless na MTN app ne so. MTN, we there for you everywhere you go. African Queen Mackerel was sit chawanum wing. Chawanum ne keke. And na majina mu kama. Tomato sauce gu ho papa bi. Yade ya aduane bia ma ne koyie. Ebusu odwa hodo ne supermarket. O pedodo to the oba pastor so makola ne fast service di hwani mu. 0245 326180 0245 326180 and a 0302668357. Yeah, well, this way chocolate drink, of course, on faso kai. Ewe de ohia ka ho a eni sushi.